FZ09, it looked like. The older generation FZ09 with the good looking headlight on it. Nothing against you FZ09 riders, but I don't like that futuristic headlight. It's just my opinion. I just think it's too scrunched together, you know, and I just don't like that Yamaha is making all their bikes look the same. Like the R6 looks like the R1 now, and the FZ09 kind of looks like the MT or the FZ10. I mean, it's just, I don't like that, you know. I like models to look different. I mean, subtle differences even, you know, just something as simple as just having a different headlight setup. But that's just my personal opinion. Other than that, I think the FZ09 is a great bike. Like, it's just got a really good engine on it, and it's a really good price. Suzuki and Yamahas are definitely my favorite out of the bikes. They make good bikes. Yamaha does make some really good bikes, and they all make good bikes. They all make shitty bikes too. But if I was to get a different bike, a different manufacturer, I would go with the Yamaha. I like Yamahas. I had a Yamaha dirt bike. That thing got tipped over in the water, and the water just got drained out of it, and that was it. I didn't even change the damn oil in it. And that thing, it was like when I was like 14 or 15, and that thing had no issues. It is just a little TTR, but still, just damn reliable. It was a fun little bike too. Rode it, you know, rode it more like a YZ 125, you know. I rode it more like an MX bike, like ramping it and all that stuff, but it took it. It handled it. What the hell are you doing, Grandpa? Like I said, if my earlier videos, it looks like the Yamaha T7 is going to go into production potentially, hopefully in the US. You never know with those bike manufacturers. They like to release bikes in foreign countries and then not give us Americans the bikes, because I don't know, they sell better overseas. But it looks like the T7, which now they're officially putting a name to it, the Tenere 700 World Raid Edition. If they build that bike, I am going to buy one. I'd love that bike. A few little design changes, like maybe like a different front fender, maybe rip the headlight assembly off of it and put like a dirt bike style headlight on it. Other than that, it's an FZ07 with dirt bike suspension on it, so it's like, what more could you ask for? I think it would just be a great small adventure touring bike, and that's kind of more what I want to get into right now. I'm probably going to keep this because it's just, they're hard to sell. They're not hard to sell, I should say, they just don't hold their value. That's the problem, and I don't understand it. But I love that T7. It's just, I think it would be a really great on and off-road bike. You know, somebody made the comment that Yamaha's late to the game and it's only a 700 and everybody else has got a 750 or an 850, or KTM just released their prototype 790 with the 790 Duke engine. To me, I think that 700 is more than enough. Depends on how it's going to be geared. I think it's going to be geared a little more off-road than the FZ07. So that might present an issue touring on it, but I still think it's going to be a really good bike. If they keep the weight down. They got to keep that weight down on it. But I want something with knobby tires, and I want something that I can do more distance on than this thing. This thing is just, it's not a distance bike, and you can kind of set them up. You know, you can put different sprockets and put like a windscreen on it, things like that, but they're still just not a distance bike. And in 2018, I do have plans on taking a Canadian trip. I plan on going over to like Wisconsin and then riding the bike up through Canada and around the Great Lakes, essentially, and going all the way over to Niagara Falls. And then I want to come back down into like upstate New York, because from visuals and pictures I've seen, upstate New York looks like a really nice place to ride through. And then come all the way around and go up through Michigan, hit a ferry, and jump over to Wisconsin, that long part of Wisconsin that arches over, and then take that back around and load back up and head back here to Wyoming. And it's like, I want to say it's like 3,000 miles, and that's a long journey, and that's just not something I want to do on this bike, but it's something I want to do. So that bike, I think, would be a really good bike for it. And it's got some pretty knobby tires on it, or at least, you know, I'd put some more knobby tires on it so I can get myself into a situation that I can actually get out of. Sometimes I get myself into a situation with this Supermoto that it's hard to get out of it. It's the tires, you know, they're not the greatest off-road. I mean, I do fairly well, and I like ripping this thing off-road because of these tires. It's just so fun. But I want something a little more off-road capable, but also touring capable. Like, I looked at a CRF 250L for cheap. He's asking $2,500 for it. It's got an exhaust on it, skid plate, hand guards. It's in really good shape. I mean, and Hondas are just dirt reliable. Everybody knows that. But it's just, it's not a capable highway bike and a touring bike, and that's what I want. But I still want something that's going to be fun to throw around like the Supermoto. You know, it's especially off-road. Lightweight trumps everything off-road, in my opinion. So I'm really hoping Yamaha releases that Tenere 700, because it'll definitely be a bike I will buy. So I am a big Suzuki guy, but it's just, looking at that bike, looks like a perfect motorcycle for what I want to do. So that's my thoughts on that. Said hopefully they do it. But that's all I'm gonna talk about on that subject, guys.